Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Wednesday, February 13th, 2019, the 44th day of the year, the U.S. Congress approved a motion to condemn anti-Semitism, and they voted 424 to 0. This was in response to the new Congresswoman who was condemned last week for saying that AIPAC controls much of Congress because of their financial influence. Supposedly, those remarks were anti-Semitic. Anyhow, what you need to know is this was not done on the 44th day by accident. For years, I've educated about Israel, Zionism, and 44. So this is a big tribute to Zionism and Israel by the U.S., which is a Zionist-controlled nation, on the 44th day of the year, not by accident. The only way you can understand these rituals is by knowing the Jewish code of Gematria. It comes from the Jewish mysticism Kabbalah. In Gematria, Zion equals 44. So does Israel. So does Sionim. That's an agent who works for Israel's Mossad. The name Netanyahu equals 44. And it wasn't that long ago that Netanyahu received much attention for his 44 seconds of silence at the United Nations, which was said to be a message to Barack Obama, number 44 at the time. All news covered this, Netanyahu's 44 seconds of silence. But they didn't elaborate on what the 44 really meant. Now we have a very pro-Zionist president, Donald Trump. He's number 45, but he's only the 44th person to be president because Grover Cleveland had a split term many years ago. Cleveland counted as number 22 and number 24, throwing the count off. But Trump, he went to the Western Wall. And notice Western Wall in our most pure cipher is 44. And he did that on May 22nd, 2017. That was a date with numerology of 44 and 64. Come back up here to our base ciphers. Western Wall 4464. Israel 4464. Zion 4464. In case you're new here, the four base ciphers, the way they work. The dark blue is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. That just means making each letter a single-digit number. So A is 1, and then you go up to Z. Z is the 26th letter. You make each letter a single digit. So Z in this dark blue cipher, you take the numerology of 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. The next cipher is the alphabetic order in reverse with the rules of numerology. So Z is 1, back to A is 26. But again, you make each letter a single-digit number. So A would be 8. Dark green cipher, the easiest. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to Z is 26. You just use the alphabetic order. Each letter becomes a number. And the last cipher is the reverse alphabetic order. Z is 1, back to A is 26. Your four base ciphers. You use these ciphers. You can see through what's been going on in history. So, with regards to 44, again, just to review, Zion's 44, Israel's 44, Sionim, those are Israel's Mossad agents working abroad. Netanyahu's 44, Western Wall's 44, Trump, the 44th person to be the U.S. president, was there on a 44 day. And the 44 goes all the way back to Theodore Herzl, the founder of Zionism. He died at age 44, and he died exactly 44 years before the Zionist nation of Israel was established in 1948. Dead at 44 in 1904, 44 years before the establishment of Zionist Israel. And notice he died July 3rd. July 3rd. Israel and Netanyahu have Gematria 37. The date July 3rd can be written 3/7 like 37. It can also be written 7/3 like 73. And look at the name Theodore Herzl. Again, Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, involves the coding of letters and numbers. These people have always worked by this code in everything they do. And all the things they control are operated this way, which includes the U.S. government. The U.S. government operates this way every single day. Every day. by this code. So does the media. So do a lot of things. It's why you want this knowledge to see through the rituals. It proves who is really responsible. You know, in 2013, I began teaching the world about this knowledge, and I said the time is now to spread this and help people see the agenda, who's behind it, how it's controlled, before we don't have time to speak out anymore. And, 5 years later, it is a lot harder to speak out. Censorship is a lot more rampant on the internet. You see your Congress taking measures like this. If you read what they voted on, they're saying that anti-Semitic people are a danger to the United States. This is only going to become more severe like it has in other nations. The same thing I've been saying for 5 years. 5 years ago, I was saying, look, there's places in the world where you can't speak out against Zionism. It is a crime. And it's going to be that way in the United States eventually. And you can see how the steps are being taken to get us to that place. For one last point, I want to go back to the Balfour Declaration. It was about creating the Zionist nation of Israel. It involved getting the United States to fight in World War I on behalf of the UK and to fight against Germany. People don't know history. The United States, as a people, supported Germany during World War I. They didn't support the UK. But after the papers got rolling and headlines were made saying that Kaiser Wilhelm, the leader of Germany, was the Antichrist, all of a sudden the American people started saying, oh, wait a minute, they're the Antichrist. Maybe I do want to fight against Germany. And then the Balfour Declaration was drafted, and it was said that if the United States fought against Germany, the Zionist nation of Israel would be delivered. The Zionist nation of Israel to be delivered. This was drafted November 2nd, 1917. The Balfour Declaration, made out to a Rothschild, a powerful Zionist banking family. But November 2nd, they didn't do this by accident. Not at all. November 2nd can be written 11/2 like 112. Look at Zionist, 112. This is about delivering the Zionist nation of Israel. Judaism also equals 112. Keep in mind, so does the name Donald, the proud Zionist, Donald Trump, owned by Jewish bankers. The letter read, Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of His Majesty's government the following declarations of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of the national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Now, obviously, since the establishment of the Zionist nation of Israel, there's been much prejudice against the other people. Just look at what's going on in Palestine. Remember what it says about the false Jews in Revelation. They lie. Remember what it says in their Talmud, Bava Kama 113a. It's okay to lie to somebody who isn't Jewish. Again, any channel out there speaking against Zionism and saying Gematria is kooky, I'd be real suspicious of those channels. If you're not exposing Gematria, you're not really exposing anything. If you're just reading news headlines and saying, oh, look, there's a Zionist element in the U.S., it's like, and what else is new, buddy? What people don't know about is how everything's done by this code ritualistically. And if people knew about that, then they'd wake up to the agenda and who's responsible. Because again, this practice is largely Jewish. We'll leave it there. Until next time.